Hey, how's it going everybody? I hope you're all good. My name is Peter Gargan, and for this video, I'd like to talk about the recent announcement of Pikmin 4, heading to Switch at some point in 2023. And it's safe to say that I was pretty happy about it. Oh, 4? Yes! Yes! Understatements aside, let's have a little talk about it. As we already know, Miyamoto confirmed Pikmin 4's existence way back in 2015, stating that it was close to completion, which became a bit of a running joke within the Pikmin community, as we didn't get to see anything of it until 7 years after Miyamoto's original statement, to the point where many of us were giving up hope. However, I think it is highly likely that Pikmin 4 was originally planned for the Wii U, but 2015 was around the time it became apparent that Nintendo was already hyping up their next console. The Switch, referred to as the mysterious NX back then, would later be released in early 2017, and by that point, they pretty much jumped ship with the Wii U, and didn't see much point in trying to keep it afloat as a result of its underwhelming financial performance, so development on Pikmin 4 likely shifted focus on the newly released hybrid console that was quickly breaking sales records for the big N left, right and centre. It's been confirmed that other big Switch games like Luigi's Mansion 3 were originally planned for the Wii U as well, only to be worked on the Switch in mind later on, so I'd argue that it wouldn't be too far-fetched to assume that the same applies to Pikmin 4. Which also lines up with statements from Miyamoto claiming that the specific team that does Pikmin are always working on the next big thing for the Little Plant people. Due to its being considered close to completion, it's possible that Nintendo were waiting for the right time to reveal it and make it all the more impactful, giving Pikmin 4 its own room to breathe, especially when we've had other releases from the likes of Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Pikmin Bloom building anticipation for something much bigger in the meantime, pretty much proving the theory I've had for the past 3 years correct if I were to toot my own horn here. I never truly gave up hope, because with all the support the series had seen in other forms of media, Nintendo, or more specifically Miyamoto himself, clearly value Pikmin as a brand, and were waiting for the right time to reveal the next main series title. With that out of the way, let's get into what we've actually been shown from the Direct. We got a short trailer depicting a few shots of some beautiful environments inhabited by a white Spectralid flying by, a couple of dwarf Bulborbs, and an adult Bulborb enjoying its slumber as you'd expect. This is likely one of the earlier areas of Pikmin 4, as grassland type areas are typically expected to be the first one you get to properly explore if the series up to this point is anything to go by. There seems to be more of an emphasis on navigating man-made structures like this bench, giving us a nice reminder of how small our player character and the Pikmin will be if we imagine them in the real world. There's also a clock hanging up on a fence beside the sleeping Bulborb, likely there for decorative purposes, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they threw in a detail where the time depicted on the clock is in sync with the in-game time meter you typically see during gameplay. In this screenshot, we get to see the player character with a mix of red, blue and yellow Pikmin fighting what is presumably the same Bulbob from the trailer, as you can see the clock from a different angle. Upon first glance, it would be rational to assume that the player character here is Brittany, one of the main characters from Pikmin 3, due to the pink hair, but upon closer inspection, it's possible that this could be someone entirely different due to the pointier ears and the hairstyle itself looking distinct, not to mention the space uniform having a different colour. I also like the little detail of the colour-coded trail of sparkles that follow the Pikmin after being thrown, just thought I'd point that out. In the Direct, Miyamoto comments on the camera angle, stating that players will be able to feel more immersed into the perspective of the Pikmin, which differs from the semi-top-down angle that the series was known for up to that point, which is a change that I'm interested in seeing more of, as it will likely make the various weird and wild creatures of the Pikmin world seem all that more threatening and tense. I also found it interesting how Miyamoto brought special attention to Pikmin Bloom before the actual announcement. Sure, it was most likely a reminder to those that weren't even aware that it had been out for the past year, as I don't think it was marketed as well as it could have been, and didn't quite take off on the same level as Pokemon Go for example, but I'm also making the prediction that Pikmin 4 will have some kind of integration with Pikmin Bloom. While I'm not entirely sure what form that would take, I think it's highly plausible that we will see some kind of compatibility between the two, comparable to the Pokemon Home service and how that interacts with the various Pokemon games on the Switch. Considering the kind of reach that Bloom has as a result of being on mobile platforms, it would be a wasted opportunity not to do so. Anyway, those were the thoughts I had on the reveal. Hopefully I've not overanalyzed it, but being realistic, I probably have. I just can't contain my excitement for a game that I've been waiting nearly a decade to hear more about, and there's a high chance that those of you that are watching this video feel the same way regardless. I do apologise if this has been a bit of a short one. In the grand scheme of things, we haven't been shown all that much just yet, so we're just going to have to wait until we have more information to talk about. Let me know if you have anything else to add to the discussion. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content on the world of Pikmin and other things Nintendo. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you later.